has been a day. Let me know how you're doing in the comments, and thank you all to all of you all who comment on the live stream saying, if you're watching it back. Thank you all for all of you all who comment on the live stream saying like replay when I say comment the replay, because I'm like, oh, you all actually watch them. I wouldn't know because I personally don't watch a lot of YouTube, and I also don't watch live streams after they've been live, because some people like to catch it live, and if you don't catch it live, then it's like, I'll just catch it the next live. But those of you who comment replay, or those of you who comment and interact, y'all are the GOAT. Hey, I know some of you all just watch and you're like ghosts behind the screen. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too. But it's nice to have that interaction because that's what live stream is for. So, welcome to the live stream. In this live stream, I'll be telling you all what the reason is, some reasoning behind why you still feel like you have trouble making friends. And my name is Lauren. I go by Lolo, Holistic Flow whatever. And because we're flowing holistically on this channel. And this channel is all about, for me, I have a new mission statement. Here it is. I am helping you all. I would say like younger millennials, right? Younger millennials helping recreate that spark for life so they can get closer to their passions and have more joy in life. How do y'all like that? Right? Does that resonate? Like, are you somebody who's trying to get that spark back in life? Answer those questions of why am I here? What purpose am I doing this for? What purpose was I put here for? And not that there's a central purpose around your life, but that there's little purpose in everything. So just trying to reconnect back to that and to find more joy and fulfillment and contentment. So today, to answer this question of why you still have trouble having or finding friends, there's two sides to this, in my opinion. Oh, I forgot to say something. When you all come into the chat, let me know where you're from. I'll go first. I'm from Maryland. I won't say which part of Maryland, but if you're from the DMV, stand up. Where y'all at, DMV? If you're on the replay and you're from DMV, type replay in the chat, because a couple of you all, the last couple of lives said you all were from Maryland or DC. I also went to school in North Carolina in Winston-Salem State University. So if you're from North Carolina, that's what's up. So when you come into the chat, comment where you're from. Cali, oh, Cali in the house. That's what's up. Hey, JB, what's up? Yeah, so how was you all's day today? Did you learn anything today? Let me know as well. Did you learn anything today? I'll go first. I learned today something that changed my whole mood, actually. I didn't wake up as peppy as I usually do. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I had a difficult time getting up out of bed. I probably sat up. You know how you just sit up and probably stare at the wall and think about the dream that you just had? I did that for maybe about 5 minutes, and I forgot that I was awake. I was in a daze, got up out of the bed, and was just dragging my feet. But then I remembered that anybody on this earth has the chance to be here today and gone tomorrow, and that thankfulness is the killer of negativity. Thankfulness is the killer of negativity. Oh, we got, hey, Durin, sorry if I said that wrong, from Haiti, Josephine from France, that's what's up. Hey, Roger, what's up? Hey, y'all. So I realized that, yeah, thankfulness is the killer of negativity, the slasher of all negativity, in that thankfulness is just going to replace all of the negative, dragging your feet, just why am I here? What is the purpose of me going to work today? What is the purpose of me doing all these things when I feel tired? And I realized that I should appreciate every single person that I talk to, even if I don't know them. And I should wish positivity on other people too, and thank other people for being in my presence. I actually taught 2 yoga classes today because I teach throughout the week. I love teaching yoga classes and meditation classes, and I taught 2 yoga classes today. In both of my classes, I didn't just say thank you all for coming. I was like genuinely felt it in my heart. So that's something I learned today. Let me know what else you learned today, if you learned anything at all. Great. So first thing, let me know where you're from in the comments. I have tons of video on my YouTube channel, probably about 300 videos or so as of now. And it's been consistent. There's one video that people just love the video. If you haven't seen it on my channel, then I wonder why else you came to the channel. I know my lock videos are really popular, but there's one video that brought a lot of people here, and I'm glad you're here if you're from that video, titled Why You Don't Fit In and Have No Friends. Because to this day, it's still the most popular video on my channel. I'm like, why do so many people feel like they don't fit in and have no friends? And I'm like, oh, because loneliness is an epidemic. Did y'all know that? I heard on a podcast, I'm not sure if you all have heard of Jay Shetty, but Jay Shetty is like a mindfulness. To me, he's like a mindfulness guru. He's a British Indian, and he was a monk for about 3 to 5 years, kind of like on and off. And then he came back into like society to share the wisdom that he learned when he was there. He was actually really young when he did that. And ever since he did that, he just started posting a lot of videos on YouTube. Y'all probably seen him. He has like blue eyes too. And his purpose is to make wisdom go viral. He has a podcast called On Purpose that I listen to every single day. And he said that there's a statistic out here that loneliness is just as bad for your health as smoking, I think it's 15 cigarettes a day. The loneliness is just as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The feeling of just being alone in your situation. And I realized how fearful we are to be vulnerable at the detriment of our health. And that's one of the first things I want to get to. By the way, like I said before, if you all are just coming in, let me know where you're from in the chat. I love to see where you all are from. That's the first thing I wanted to talk to you all about today, is that loneliness or vulnerability. Sorry, I was on the topic of vulnerability. That vulnerability is so crucial to like our well-being, but we're so closed off to being vulnerable these days. And I think it's because of the way that we're used to communicating through mediums like this, like social media, in live stream or texting. And more people are going to be prone to text something than they're going to be prone to calling somebody and telling them something. It's little things like that we don't really think of contribute widely to our inability to be comfortable being vulnerable. And that's a common reason why it's difficult for us to feel like we're being our authentic selves. So I'll say one of the first ways, or one of the first reasons that we still struggle to make friends, is we have a disconnection with what it feels like to be authentic, or what it looks like to feel like our most authentic or our highest version of ourselves, and to show up like that every single day. And it's actually taking more of a toll on our health to be unauthentic than it is to be authentic. Have any of y'all ever listened to Jay Shetty? If we just have one, because I listen to him every single morning. And I'm about to quote something that he said again. And I'm pretty sure when he says this, he's quoting someone else, but I've heard him say it, so I'm going to say it. He says that I'm not who I think I am, and I'm not who you think I am. I'm what I think you think I am. Just let that sit. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back who didn't hear. All right. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I'm what I think you think I am. Meaning, like, have you ever seen Inception? Leonardo DiCaprio movie. If you haven't, it's great. So it's basically a perception inside of a perception. It's a dream inside of a dream, or a reality inside of a reality, to where, like, we're living inside of the perception of how we think other people perceive us. It's not even our own perception. So if you're thinking in your head that, oh my gosh, Johnny thinks this about me, Johnny thinks I'm rich because I wear MCM bags and Coach boots every day, but I'm not really rich. I'm just putting on a facade because people think I'm rich and they seem to like rich people. So, but you don't really know what people think about you. Even if they tell you something that they think or they perceive about you, you genuinely don't know what's going on in other people's heads. So when our life is a myriad of all the things that we create ourselves to be because of society's perception, it's a perception inside of a perception. And that's why he said we are not even who we think we are. We're what other people, or what we think other people think we are. And going back to the authenticity piece, I'm about to reel it all in. That is why it's so difficult, or it can be really difficult, to be authentic. And my first point around the struggle with making friends, because even if you do find people who you like to hang out with, people who you enjoy their company, you're not going to be able to go deep and even get to a vulnerable place if you don't even know who you are, because vulnerability comes out of a place of peeling back the layers of yourself. And if yourself is someone who's not really yourself, how are you going to be vulnerable? How are you going to peel back the layers that aren't even yours? Ooh, I heard another thing today on the same podcast, y'all. I'm telling you, I listen to it every single day. If you all don't listen to Jay Shetty, if you never listen to Jay Shetty, he's like my guru right now. I'm fangirling. That what was I about to say about vulnerability and about, peeling back these layers, that the role in sustaining a meaningful connection can't come if your layers are always built on top of you. Peeling back the layers of yourself is sort of like revealing something that's always been uncovered. Like this analogy, the sun is always in the sky. Right now, it's nighttime. It's 6:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. So it's nighttime. I don't see the sun. Let's say it was daytime though. Let's say it was daytime and like it's cloudy, right? Let's say it's cloudy. It was kind of cloudy today. It snowed 2 days ago, and the sun hasn't really been out. I could say I don't see the sun because the clouds are covering it, but that doesn't mean the sun isn't there. The sun is still there. It's just that the clouds are in front of the sun, and there's so many layers of cloud that I can't even see the sun, and I don't even know where the sun is in the sky. That's like how your true self is. It's like the sun. And the clouds are like your layers, your everything that you perceive other people perceive that you are. It's like everything that you've built on top of you. Got Jamaica in the house. That's what's up. Yeah, if you're just coming in, let me know where you're from. I would love to know. So, and thank you all for commenting as well in the replay as well. I know y'all are commenting replay if you're watching the replay too. That's a common challenge. Going back to this authenticity piece, think about yourself as the sun in the sky, in that we always have clouds on top of us in some form, to some extent. It's all about, over the time of our life, uncovering those clouds or just moving those clouds out of the way. If y'all have any questions too, go ahead and start dropping your questions in the chat because I'm going to come back to your questions as well. I just want to let you all know about my retreat. My retreat is called Crown Connection Retreat, and it's the same message is being spread, y'all. We're trying to get back to our passionate spark for life and escape the mundane 9 to 5 reality life of reality that we're living in, and escape in a serene nature filled environment. So we're going to be in the mountains of Pennsylvania, that's in the US, and it's May 23rd through the 27th. Now I know I've announced it a lot, the retreat, but I'm having an interest meeting, a clarity call, so you can get clarity about if you really want to come to the retreat, if it's for you. And I'm having the call right after this live stream, and I've had a couple of you sign up for the call, so I'll see you there on the call. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in the chat, like the link to the call right here. It's completely free, so you'll get to chat with me. So I would love to, or even if you just want to jump on the chat, it's going to be on Zoom. So a couple of you all are already coming to the call. Thanks so much. And if you are interested in the retreat, just join the call and see what it's about. I'm going to be answering a lot more in depth of your questions. So getting back to these reasons of still struggling with making friends. I know that a common challenge is anxiety, just in general. Let's talk about anxiety in general because it's real. There's a lot of things that we think we shouldn't be talking about, but we know deep down inside we should have the right to talk about, like the way that we feel day to day, or the feeling of not being able to move, or feeling paralyzed, or not feeling like you can get a deep breath. And sometimes we even think those things are like not normal, but you're like, is anybody else experiencing this? Or it's just me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's difficult to talk about those things because one, you feel like maybe you feel like there's no room to talk about it. Or two, because you're the only person going through it. I know that's a common misconception, but when you have anxiety about meeting new people, that means that you might have expectations about your future endeavors because your past situations with meeting new people went a certain way. And especially when the same scenario kind of like replays itself over and over and over again, it can scratch on old wounds. And if meeting a new person starts to look the same every single time, you start to wonder, is it me? You know what I'm saying? We've all wondered that, like even in relationships, like when your relationships, it's like you're meeting the same person with a different face and you're like, is it me? Is it me, God? Like, fix me, change me, God. Like, so to that, I would say start to trust yourself more, trust your own judgment, because when you have anxiety about meeting new people, it can be a situation where you're like, am I going to mess it up? Because if you're like, is it me? It's at some point recreating the same scenario when you have fear about that scenario. Here's what the law of attraction does. It's real. It's going to replay whatever you're replaying in your head. It's going to bring that picture into fruition by using that picture as a blueprint to build. It's like the foundation of building your reality in real life, physically. And I'm going to get to you all's questions, so keep dropping the questions in the chat. But once you replay that over and over again, it's going to build on the foundation of your reality. And then no matter if you're saying, I'm fearful that my next friend or relationship is going to ghost me, or you're saying something positive about that friendship relationship, your mind does not decipher the difference between what has already happened or what is your true physical reality currently and what you just are imagining your true reality is. And isn't that crazy? Because if your mind can't tell the difference in between what you're imagining and what is really reality in front of you, then that means that what you're imagining could or could not be your reality. That just shows even more how the mind is the blueprint, because the body responds to stress just because you're imagining things, just because you're imagining stressful situations. So if the body responds like you're actually in a physically stressful situation, imagine if you really were in a physically stressful situation. That causes anxiety, and because stress is prolonged anxiety, and once you have that anxiety about the same thing over and over and over again, it starts to manifest, because again the mind doesn't tell the difference between what you're just imagining and what is really going on. So it might as well really be going on, so then it actually goes on because you manifest it in the future with thinking it into existence. So I think once you have anxious thoughts about that struggle and whatever that struggle may look like, it makes it even more difficult or even more easy to say, I could go without, like whatever you're telling yourself in your mind that is prohibiting you from being, again, vulnerable and open. Think again, go back to that visualization of the sun in the sky. Because if you're okay with not having genuine people around you, which is very unlikely, because if you're telling yourself that I'm honestly okay with having nobody at all, there's two sides to that. Yes, it is okay for a season, because I know I've made a lot of videos about this. It's okay for a season because sometimes we're called into seasons of isolation to where there's like nobody around us. But for long term, again, going back to the loneliness thing, I said this in the beginning, if you all who didn't hear it, loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking 15 packs of cigarettes a day. Loneliness, when you're longing for deeper, more meaningful connections. So that might be a good segue into your question, Missy. We got Vegas in the house. That's what's up. So Missy asks, is it okay to not have friends? Well, quick and dirty answer. Yeah, it's totally okay to not have friends. There was a time during actually filming the video that I filmed that like went viral for real. I did not have friends, or I had lost a lot of friends, and it wasn't a loss because it was honestly a gain. But like it's really okay to not have friends if there's a clause. If you're in a position to where you are your best friend or you are self-fulfilling, I truly do feel like whether you are I truly do feel like whether you are introverted or extroverted plays a huge role. It truly does, because here's the thing, like introverts thrive off of being in their own space. Most introverts, like there are thinking people who are more thinking and analytical versus people who are more feeling emotional, and they need emotional support. And it's not that you won't have any friends, because I truly don't believe there's anybody who has no friend in the world, because I think we overlook people who are just in our lives and we may talk to them every once in a while, but they're a deep, genuine connection. So I think we have to define what a friend is. But quick, dirty, and dry answer, whatever. Yeah, it's okay. Then you got to assess the people in your life, because most likely if you're in a situation where you feel like you don't have friends and you're okay with that, you might have people in your life that you talk to every once in a while, like maybe once a month. Think of a person who you talk to once a month, but it's like every single time you talk to them, it's a great conversation. Like the conversation's so enlightening, so uplifting. And y'all not really cool like that. Like y'all wouldn't hang out all the time, but they're supportive. Like they gonna have your back for real. And then there's people in your life who will you'll have a warm, genuine connection with, but maybe you only talk to them like every 3 months, 4 months. I think it's Am I frozen? Okay, I think we back on. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. yeah, those of you all who are interested in the retreat, even if just a little bit, and if you're just getting in the chat, I'm going to have a interest meeting. If you're interested in the retreat at all, I'm back. Okay, cool. Awesome. If you're interested in my retreat at all, May 23rd through the 26th, it's a healing and growth retreat. You can join my retreat interest meeting. It's going to be right after this live stream. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream in about 15 minutes and then we're going to hop right on. You have to register or you have to just sign up. It's it's free. It's completely free. But as soon as you sign up, you'll get the link and you'll get a reminder as well. It is a retreat for 40-year-olds. Yeah, it's for anybody. Anybody, any age. There's gonna be a separate cabin for the men and the women. 'Cause I know a lot of people are some men are interested coming to the interest meeting tonight. And the retreat is for anybody, any age, because we're all like honestly on a similar journey. So I say young millennials, like 40. I mean, you all are millennials too. So millennials are like 25 to like 50, I think. 50? Maybe a little younger, 50. But yeah, any age, y'all. So, hey from Canada, what's up? All right, yeah, thanks for those who are thus far. Thank you for listening thus far. Thank you for hopping on the live stream. If you have any other questions, make sure to drop your questions. Gen Z. You're Gen Z? Okay. I'm actually a Gen Zer too, y'all. Y'all know my age? I'm 24. I feel like people either think I'm 17 or I'm 30. Like there's no like in between. Just kidding. I mean, all right. So yeah, Missy said I'm introverted and extroverted. I'm comfortable with me, but know a lot of people. I just don't hang with them in any way. Thank you for your knowledge and sharing. Yes, you're welcome. And I want to share something too that I think is super important. Super important as to like the struggle with making friends. Even once you get through that authenticity piece, the more authentic that you get, the less friends you're probably going to make or find making or keeping. So making and keeping friends are two different things. I feel like if you're more authentic, this is what happens. There will be a lot more respect flowing out of your heart for people and a lot more respect from other people coming in. You know what I'm saying? And then because of that, you'll attract people who are on your same wavelength, your same vibration that will help you through your journey. They may not necessarily be friends though, but you'll start to attract people who are like-minded. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are friends. And I think because of that, because of the authenticity that you acquire, it's going to narrow down people. And that's why when you're more authentic, it's actually harder to make friends. But you know why? It's kind of like putting on blindfolds and then shooting a bow and arrow versus doing your target practice and then hitting it right in the dot. And the difference is like when you're not authentic to your true self, you could attract anybody. So you got your blindfolds on, you shooting the arrows, you hitting all over the target. You know what I'm saying? But isn't it better to shoot one arrow and hit the target right on? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like once you're truly vulnerable, yes, other people will stray away. So the quantity will go away. So it might not be friends. It might be one friend. It might be two friends. But it's like the quality will increase. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that Missy, I'm actually a social introvert. I'm super introverted, but very social. Well, can be very social. I'm up for anything social. And it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting dynamic. I keep to myself because genuine people are hard to come by now in days. It's super weird. Yeah, I agree. Genuine people are difficult to come by, and sometimes it's better not to get super deep with a lot of people, because your energy is your currency. Did y'all know that? The energy that you spend on giving people advice, or how many of y'all are advice givers? Let me know. Raise your hand in the chat. How many of y'all are advice givers? Or how many people, like, a lot of people come to you for advice. I think it's an honor to have people come to me for advice, but I ain't, I ain't got a lot of energy to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I did though. Not to say that like I won't do it, but like I wish I actually had more. But because I know, I don't. I try to stray away a lot of the times, hold back a lot of the times. And if you can relate to that, it can be a difficult dynamic. But because genuine people are difficult to come by, not everybody deserves the currents, or not that it's deserving, but you want to be careful who you pay with your energy. Because again, your energy is like a dollar bill. Matter of fact, your energy is like $100 bill. Even every ounce of energy, that's $100. See your energy as that expensive. It's expensive to have friends. Energetically expensive. You don't got to spend $1 on nobody, but energetically. So I think that's why when you have like a good quality of people around you, that's when it's okay to have friends. Matter of fact, let me say that again. If you have a good quality person around you, that's when it's okay to not have friends, because you might have a good quality person that you might not even call a friend because they might not be that close. But maybe you got to reframe the way that you see friends. What if a friend isn't actually the person who you talk to every single day? Because can I be completely honest with y'all? I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Every single person who I've called a best friend, stabbed me in the back so bad. Like, I'm not even kidding. Every single person, like every single person who I called a best friend, not every single person, actually, let me take that back. Every person who I was closest with, it's like it was the most emotional, most malicious in the end, because you find out so much about the people and you're like, were we ever even friends? Like, can I ever call you a friend? But the people who I maybe were never as close to, like we didn't call each other every day, we didn't hang out every day, we weren't every week like, hey, pull up. Maybe we went out for coffee every month. Or I'm starting to think that that's actually what a friendship is supposed to look like, because you give each other breathing room. You're not all up on each other all the time. And I think that's actually how you're supposed to stay true to your authenticity while also being social. I think friendships, people, we see friendships are supposed to be super close. Like we call that person every day. They're there whenever we call. Maybe that's what's taken away some of our freedom and individuality. You know what I'm saying? And that a real friend, like friendships are better off looking like what you think friendships aren't. Like the real friendships are more like the people who you count out as, no, they're just an acquaintance. What if we just flipped it a little bit? Because I promise you, y'all, all the people who were the closest to me did me the dirties. It's not even a joke. And it's not even like they're bad people. It's just that that's how the cookie crumbles. So if you can relate to that, maybe you should change your mindset about like who you call a friend. All right, what's y'all questions? Drop your questions in the chat. I'm about ready to answer some questions. Yes. Yeah, right? You can relate to that? Nevin says, I believe if they recognize as you a friend, if they recognize you as a friend after a long break of no communication, then that's when you know it. For sure, for sure. I mean, a lot of friends are friends, right? Because you either work with them, you're coworkers, you go to school with them, you have some similar interest. And excuse me, it's cool to have similar interests with people, but think about it. Your closest friends, you probably became close because of the similar environments that you were in. And past your environment, if you never went to school with them, If you never lived in the same city as them, if you never lived next door to them, if you weren't introduced to them and y'all hang out in the same friend group, if y'all don't share Instagram reels with each other, like it's what happens when you take away that environment? Is it really authentic? Like, do you think you would still be friends with them? You think y'all would still have things to even talk about if you took away that work environment, that school environment, the fact that y'all are in the same club together? Those things are nice, but I think once you take those things away, you can better decipher if somebody is somebody who you would call a friend, because those are just surface level things. Daughters of the Most High, sometimes I think humans are meant to be alone because many of my friends are in relationships and or married. It's not like we aren't friends, but single people spend much time alone. I can agree to that to some extent. You know, ever since I did film that video that I'm talking about 3 years ago, my perspective on friendships have changed and tweaked a little bit. I think a lot of the video, what I said in the video was true. The video, Why You Don't Fit In and Have No Friends, that's the title of it. And I said a lot about it being a spiritual journey, about how you can't be too caught up in what everybody else is doing. And you can't really be set apart if you're always following the crowd. If you're always trying to fit into the box of what society expects from you, you can't be a societal change maker or a chain breaker for that matter. So there are seasons, maybe there are seasons you can think of like periods of aloneness. And it's not meant for everybody. It may not be meant for everybody. Some people, deeper companionship may be meant for them because of the way that they grew up. Some people just didn't grow up with parental figures, so they have to find that in their friendships. Or they do find that in their friendships, and that's what's meant for them, you know? From Manchester, love listening to you. That's what's up, Manchester. Thanks so much. Hey, everyone who just may be happening to come in. Drop your questions in the chat in about, honestly, like y'all 3 to 4 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up a little bit. Don't want to get off course a little bit. For those who don't know, my retreat is interest meeting. I'm having a free interest meeting right after this at like about 7 minutes. I dropped the link in the chat. Yeah, when we have something to share and we can relate to each other, we remain in contact. But even that won't last too much. Best to be you even when you are alone, but just don't go overboard. Yeah, exactly. It's like even when you have something to tell that person, and it's like people see friendships differently, or communication, because you may be someone who really values your alone time, right? And you share some common interest with somebody else. Let's just say it's painting. And that's how you all first met, in a painting class. And then it's like whenever you hang out, they asking you, hey, let's go to sip and paint. And you're like, yeah, you know. And it's like one day, what if you all, instead of going to a sip and paint, you all wanted to have a deep conversation about something else that you deeply align with, like playing the piano or playing music. And they're like, oh, it's not really my thing. And you have this reality check, like, there are other things, or more things than not, that we don't resonate with each other. And there's this one thing that's really holding the glue in our friendship. And what if that thing was gone? Like, what if the love that you both have for painting just flew out the window? I would say friendships take work just like relationships. But when there are core values that you all share, and this is one of the last things I want to say about friendships, and this is one of the things that I know about a solid foundation, friendships and relationships actually, that if there are core values there, that is a solid foundation for a lasting friendship or a relationship. If you got into a relationship or friendship because that person likes cool clothes and you like cool clothes, it's going to be a temporary thing. But if you got into that friendship or relationship because both of you all have a strong faith, or both of you all like reading your Bible scriptures together, both of you all like praying together, both of you all really enjoy or value communication, the same similar communication styles, or both of you all are very family oriented. Those are things that are foundational core values that will not change. If the reason why you're friends or in a relationship with somebody is because of their looks, because of the way that they dress, because of the type of video games that they play, because of the activities that they like, those are things that are temporary. And that is super consistent with friendships and relationships. A lot of people look at what people do on the outside and they're like, "Oh, I could vibe with that." But then you get to know their core values. And it's like that's different from mine. I'm not a family person, so I can't really relate to that. Other values that are surface level, when they start to change, the friendship's going to change, because you're like, I don't really know this person anymore and I have to relearn this person, and they are completely different than what I initially thought. But if you're standing on core values, then you don't really have to relearn a person as much, because the core of a person will never change. Then you don't have to relearn a lot. The core is the same and their foundation is the same. It's just everything, the whole, all the things on top are changing. So that's where I'm going to end off at, because I have to hop on to the retreat interest call. I'm going to drop the link in the chat once more. Oh, did I? Oh gosh, no. I somehow exited out of the live stream. Okay, let me go back into it. Yeah, gotta run, gotta blast. But if you want to still hop on the meeting, you can hop on it right now and join the meeting and ask me questions about the retreat, and I'll give you some answers. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Nevin. I appreciate all of you all so much, and I'm so thankful. All of you all are what makes the channel really thrive. So I appreciate you, all your comments, all your support, all your love. I love you all, and I'm so super appreciative. I'm giving you a virtual warm hug. Good night, everybody. Be safe. If you're in the DMV area, be safe this weekend because it might snow tomorrow, and have a great rest of your weekend. There's a video coming out tomorrow on how to have better self-care days. So watch out for that video tomorrow. It's so funny. My mom told me yesterday that I was looking like one of Bob Marley's kinfolk because of my hair. That's so funny. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day, your evening, your night. Peace out. Peace.